Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Who are these?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm Angel Rivera alongside Miss.Witchy Perfect, and boy, do we have a lot to discuss. First off, though, how was your 4th?
Loud.
Yeah, mine was loud too.
It seemed to be bombarding us every which way, right? We had people who actually started fireworks right near the house, like our house, and we're like, please don't do that. You will burn us all down. So yeah. But other than that, yeah, my son had a grand old time. He's with his grandmother right now. So hi, Darian. Oops. I'm sorry, I forgot. Oops. Well, we'll edit that out, right?
Yeah, I know. All right. So we do have to review Night of Champions, which was last week, but we couldn't do a show because you were sick and I was pretty much crashing out. So nope.
Oh man, I just could not stop sneezing. My son and I both just couldn't stop sneezing.
It was allergies,
really terrible. Yeah.
All right. So we'll review Night of Champions first, and then we'll preview Saturday night's main event, which is next Saturday. So we'll have to come back next Sunday, hopefully, to review it.
I mean, really, the Goldberg shit. Fuck you, Goldberg. Sorry. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, why?
Yeah. Well, let's start off with Night of Champions. The first match was the opening match, which was a surprising choice, but it's the King of the Ring final between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Of
course, Cody won. He defeated Randy Orton in a good match, I thought, to open the show. And
it was a great match.
And went 19 minutes, 45 seconds, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it was a good match. And then they kind of did what Kurt and Brett did at the 93 King of the Ring. They sort of not hugged it out, but they kind of showed that mutual respect and stuff. Because both of their fathers, of course, were wrestlers. Randy Orton had a grandfather, Bob Orton Sr. So he's actually third generation, where Cody is second. Everyone knows Dusty Rhodes, of course, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. I really think that this. I don't think any other match could really make this better than it already was, right? Because I was telling you, I'm like, nobody's gonna be following this one. All right. So here we go.
Yeah, so there was a mistake during the match. I think we both noticed this when Cody did the figure four and Randy kind of adjusted his leg and then started selling, which was pretty funny. It was like
It was kind of
But-
like watching Brett correct Sean, you know, and then I'm like, oh no, the screw job. Ah! But
yeah,
that didn't happen.
It was a solid match. Randy, it kind of looked like he was teasing a heel turn with the punt thing he tried to do towards the end. He didn't do it. Ultimately, he did pull the turnbuckle pad off, which ultimately ended up, Cody shoved him into it, and he went ribs first into it.
Right.
Very painful. And then Cody hit his finish for the 1, 2, 3, and that's how he became King of the Ring.
Yeah.
But King of the Ring is not what it used to be. It's not that pomp. It's not that over the top ceremony. All they do is just give him the crown. Here's this cheap looking crown. Cody does this. Fireworks goes off, and that's the end of the segment. Like,
right. And SmackDown, as we'll get to later, it really sort of, I don't know. It felt like he was just holding it for just some reason. Like I'm watching it going, why are you just holding it? Why don't you have it on your head or something? Put it on your head. That's what it's made for. It's a crown.
It's like they treat it as a prop towards the world title match. Like they don't really care about. Gunther did the same thing last year.
Yeah.
When he won King of the Ring, kind of held it in his hand, as a prop for a couple of weeks, and then disappeared. So now pretty much Cody's probably gonna do the same thing. Hold it for 2 or 3 weeks, and then it'll disappear before SummerSlam, which ended up being him and Cena at SummerSlam, which we'll get to a little later. So the unfortunate honor following that match was the Rhea Ripley Raquel Rodriguez no disqualification street fight.
And what did I tell you? I was like, I'm not really interested in this. And to be honest, I didn't know those two had a history. I didn't know that they were, best buds and got matching tattoos and everything. And I'm just like watching this going at work too. I was like at work going, well, just get to the Karrion Kross match. Because I didn't want to like watch that or, have to stop it and, handle a customer. Because, of course, I always handle my customers. I never just sit on, and just go, oh, I'm watching something, But this match, like I said, I didn't know that there was history between them. I mean, the right person won, Rhea Ripley, because she needed that win. She definitely needed that win. And Rochelle, as Jim Cornette calls her. I don't know how to say that, but
she's just there.
Yeah, she was just there. I mean, they're trying to get this now that Liv Morgan is injured. Now they're trying to make this Roxanne Perez and Rochelle work, and she's reluctant, but she still is going to go through with it. So,
which is going to lead to Liv Morgan returning, and then they do that story where they did with Rhea last year or 2 years ago, where Liv Morgan stole away Dominic from Rhea, and then that turned Rhea babyface. So I suspect that's what's going to happen with Liv Morgan. So they're kind of going to repeat that story they did with Rhea last year. So there you go again. That's my prediction on that.
Well, here's the funny part is that Dominic, I mean, the fans have turned him face. They don't boo him like they used to.
No, they don't.
And it's like, they're cheering for him because he has that Intercontinental belt. I don't know. It's really weird times. But everyone's over, okay? Everyone's over. So everyone's going to, they're going to sing Seth Rollins' song. They're going to sing Roman Reigns' song. They're going to sing Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. Of course, they went nuts on SmackDown yesterday.
We'll get to Seth in a moment in the main event, but why, if they really want to use him as a heel, they got to change that music, because
they got to do something, because I mean he's so over that they still are singing his praises.
Yeah, they got to change that music. They want fans to boo him to something, something else, anything else. I mean, because at this point, the whoa, no matter what, they're always gonna cheer it, and sing a song. So they want to really use him as a heel and not just a tweener or in between. Because he's definitely a heel. He's not a tweener or a babyface. So he got Paul Heyman with him, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. He has basically a bloodline light, as I like to call him. All right, so the next match was the match that I really wanted to see. Sami Zayn defeating Karrion Kross in 13 minutes and 35
Mm.
seconds in that
I
singles
wanted to
match.
see it, but I don't think the right person won. Um,
It's a good match, though.
it was a great match, and Carrion really shocked me. Really came out fully strong. Really got Sammy over. He was the heel, and then, at the end when he lost, I don't think the right person won. I believe that honestly, I'm not sure what they're trying to do, but I would have loved to have seen Sami Zayn put Carrion over. I think that would have propelled him farther than this, oh, you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. Look, I get that, but I mean, the wrong person did not win here.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
the wrong person won. So what I think they need to do from here on out is, yeah, they can. I don't think this feud is over yet.
no,
Way far from over. But what I want to see is I want to see another match between him and Karrion Kross. Make it a cage match for all I care. Just no tables, please. But make it an interesting match, and then give Karrion Kross that win, and let Sammy put him over, because Karrion, as you said in the messages when we were messaging back and forth, Karrion literally took most of the match.
yeah,
Sammy was, giving him that feed, but I mean, he took most of the match.
yeah.
So I definitely would
Which is
like to
the
see some
standard,
more.
Sami Zayn match. I
Right.
mean, he almost never dominates his matches. He sells and sells and sells and sells and sells, and he sells like death. Like he's about to get beaten. And all of a sudden, like the standard Sami Zayn match, he comes back, makes his comeback, hits his finish, and just pins everybody. That's his standard match, and I knew that was going to happen because the way Karrion Kross was taking most of the match and dominating. So I was
Right.
like, oh, here we go. He's going to make the comeback, hit his kick finish, and then just pin him 1, 2, 3 flat, which is what happened. So I was like, okay, at least he got on pay-per-view. At least it was a great match. But, I mean, I assume the feud will continue, especially what happened on Raw when Karrion Kross beat the crap out of Sami Zayn. So
That
there's going
was
to be at
freaking
least one more match.
awesome. I mean, I posted that as soon as I could. I was just
Hmm.
like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, Carrie Cross, oh my God. And then I posted it. I'm like, Carrie, you did awesome. You did awesome.
Yeah.
And there's nobody, when he did that at the end, he was just like, kiss my ass or something, or it was something like kiss my ass or
Hmm.
something like that, and then just walked
Yeah.
right out. I was like, mic
And then,
drop.
yeah, so it was a good match. It was unfortunately I thought the wrong guy won too. Especially if this is gonna be a long term feud. The heel usually wins the first match, so the babyface can make a comeback later. But
Right.
Sammy won first. That means Karrion Kross got to get his win back at some point. So, maybe at SummerSlam, most likely, or maybe Saturday night's main event. Which because it's only 3 matches booked so far. So we'll get to that in a moment, though. The next match had Solo Sikoa defeating Jacob Fatu to become the U.S. champion.
Uh,
And
I did not like this match. Because I
hmm,
kind of said to you, I was kind of like, really? I mean, I get where they're coming from. They needed to do something with Solo because he had just come back from injury, I think. And,
yeah,
they were, Meltzer was complaining, or was it Brian Alvarez was complaining that Solo doesn't get good booking. Okay, I get that, but the United States Championship, he doesn't need it. That's below him. He was more looking for what Roman Reigns was, because when Roman Reigns lost to Cody at SummerSlam, at WrestleMania 40, he was like the top dog looking for
yeah,
that top belt. I mean, I just think this is very much below him, but I could see like that Jacob Fatu and him having a feud on
yeah,
SmackDown. They were awesome because Jacob just was like a beast. He was going after Tongaloa, sorry. So
yeah.
Tongaloa came out during this
He
match.
came back in this match
Right.
after,
That's how Solo Sikoa got the belt,
and
is like literally because
they
Tongaloa
had
interfered.
run-ins. It was basically ended up being 4-on-1. So ended up the match. Well, they did the match. Good. It was a good match until the interference started happening. First, it was Tongaloa actually didn't fuck up his move. At least he did it correctly because he has a reputation of botching and fucking up everything. But he was good here. Then JC Mateo, whatever his name is, he came out to interfere too. And then finally, a debuting Hikuleo, or now he's known as what, Lala, like
La la la.
Lala Tonga, Lala, whatever. I mean, they gave him a weird name. It was Lala or some shit like that, or
La
Tala.
la 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 la.
Either Tala or Lala, and Lala Tonga, whatever. They gave him some weird name, but he came out. He's like 7 feet tall. He put Jacob to the announce table, I believe, and then threw him back in the ring. Solo hit his spike finish and just pinned him. So
And
they
pinned him.
protected the hell out of Jacob. They protected him in this loss. It wasn't like
Right. I mean,
they
it
beat him
wasn't like
flat.
1-on-1 and they
Yeah.
didn't beat him, without interference. I get that. I just, it's almost like WWE took what Brian Alvarez and Meltzer were talking about to heart and sort of, gave Solo the belt. I mean, again, it wasn't needed. I mean, you could have had so many run-ins, Jimmy Uso could have came out and helped Jacob Fatu. That is one scenario, but I mean, because they were partners on SmackDown, so I mean, you could have had that, but I just don't see why Solo would need the belt right now because it just didn't make any sense to me right at this point. Because he's a top dog, or at least he was trying to be. And I know, like I said, that they were talking about his bad booking and blah, blah, blah. So I guess WWE took that to heart and said, all right, fine. We'll just give him the fucking US belt. Right.
They threw a belt on him. Well, I mean,
and
no
LA Knight, though I think they have kind of elevated LA Knight and shot him to the moon
I think
and
LA
for a
Knight,
top belt.
he's done for the U.S. title chase. I mean, I think he's being elevated right now into that world title picture. Doesn't mean he's going to win the belt, but he's been elevated right now to that world title picture. So that feud, this is going to continue. Jacob's going to keep going after the U.S. title, and he's going to have to go through all of Solo's henchmen in order to get back to Solo and get a title shot. So I don't know when that's going to happen. I mean, I assume I don't think they'll have a title match at SummerSlam immediately. It might be some sort of 6-man tag or 8-man tag deal. So they're already kind of setting it up with Jimmy Uso siding with Jacob Fatu on SmackDown. So they're kind of setting up either a tag match or some sort of deal at SummerSlam. Now SummerSlam is 2 nights, so they got plenty of time to fit in all these matches. So
you're lurking.
All right.
Yeah, I want to see Jacob Fatu rise, but I would like to see him with the US belt for a little while longer.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking either a rematch at SummerSlam probably will be the best to do. That I can see that happening. I'm not sure why they changed it right now, other than they listened to Brian Alvarez and Meltzer talking about the bad booking, and they said, "Oh no, we can't have that. So let's just give him the belt."
Possibly, but I don't think it's likely. WWE is taking Meltzer seriously at this point. So
considering his boyfriend, I know he had, and like I said in that comment, he has a fucking meltdown. They said this on Jim Cornette's show. Anytime anyone criticizes or puts down Tony Khan, literally, Dave Meltzer has a fucking meltdown and just literally cannot help himself. He has to, you don't know what you're talking about. You're delusional, blah, blah, blah. No, Meltzer, you're delusional. Okay. You don't know what you're talking about. You're giving these AEWs 4 and 5 stars and saying that they're better than Kurt and Brett. No, nobody was better than Kurt and Brett at SummerSlam 1991. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry for that. If you can't see that, Meltzer, then you're fucking delusional and you have problems.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. So the next match was the Queen of the Ring final, with Jade Cargill defeating Asuka by pinfall.
Really didn't care about this match, and like you had said, I didn't really think that you were saying you weren't really interested in this match, but you didn't see Jade Cargill losing this match. No. I agreed because I was driving home from work by this time. And I really didn't care. I really didn't pay attention to, who won. I honestly thought that they were going to strap a rocket to Asuka because she just came back. I really didn't care.
I didn't. Asuka at this point is in her late 30s, and
Hmm.
she's won women's title multiple times in her career. So like she's been on top plenty. So it's like using Asuka as a star to put over the up and coming star, which is Jade Cargill. The match itself was okay. I mean, it wasn't much to write home about. It was
Hmm.
the Jade Cargill match. I
Yeah.
compare her to a female Goldberg. You know, she has the
Ugh.
look, she has everything she needs to get over, but ultimately, no matter how much they train her, her work is not the best. I mean, it's like this is the best you're gonna get out of Jade Cargill at this point.
Right.
A decent to okay match. You know, she's not going to be a Rhea Ripley. I mean, she has
Right.
the look. She definitely has the look to be a star, but her matches are not going to be there. So you,
Right.
and the most WWE fans don't care about the matches. They don't care about work rate, but it's a great wrestler or not a great wrestler. They just look at stars. You know, that's most of WWE's casual audience anyway. So it's not going to hurt Jade Cargill much. As of
Right.
now, she's going to face, I think, Tiffany at SummerSlam.
It's Tiffany time. Ugh.
So
Sorry, I tried to like Tiffany Stratton, but she's so fucking annoying. I'm just like, get another voice, okay?
that character is supposed to be, it was a heel initially in NXT.
Right. And she's
Because
failing miserably as a baby face.
yeah, I mean, she gets some cheers, but she's like a baby face, and but it's the same character. He doesn't really change much about it. It's
Right.
that same narcissism, arrogance, you know, she comes to the ring with,
Right.
and the fans are cheering it for the most part. It seems like, but at the same
Mhm.
time, it's like people are getting tired of her
Yeah.
because she's been basically strapped with a rocket up her ass and became champion in less than a year, her rookie year. So
Right.
it was like,
And
ugh.
I didn't even watch the segment with Trish Stratus. I was just like, ugh, I can't
Yeah,
watch this. I
Evolution
just
is next
couldn't.
Sunday. So
Yeah.
that all female pay per view, which right now I'm probably not going to watch because we're going to do pro wrestling talk around that time. So
Mm-mm.
we can talk about it, but I'm probably not going to watch live. Excuse me. All right. So the main event, the WWE Championship match between John Cena, the champion, defeating CM Punk by pinfall, and of course, in your standard Cena
Ugh.
match in this run, a lot of run-ins, a lot of interference. I mean,
I was
it's
just
like.
sick of it at the end of it. I was just like, you know what? Just pin somebody.
Mm,
The fact that they actually talked Braun Breaker into coming out and doing all that shit, I was just like, you know what? And this is where I guess they threw the swerve, just like D said that was going to happen. Um, they're going to throw the swerve because now Seth Rollins is talking to Gunther that was on Raw, and
mhm.
I'm gonna after you're done with Goldberg, I'm gonna, it's almost like they're setting up for Goldberg to lose or somehow win, but not win the belt because someone asked him, was it Michael Cole? I think Mike
Yeah,
had
Michael
asked him
Cole had
uh,
an interview.
um,
Yeah.
in an interview, asked him, what happens if you become champion? He's like, wouldn't that be something? No, that would fucking suck. And you
Hmm.
suck. Okay. I don't care how long you've been in the business, Goldberg. You still fucking suck. Okay. Nobody fucking, I mean, people got fucking tired of your streak that they were actually saying Goldberg sucks. And they had to pipe that in. Okay.
They had to pipe
They
in the
probably still are
Goldberg
piping
chant.
it in. Yes.
Um, I think either Scott Hall or Kevin Nash was telling WCW executives, "Oh, they're saying Goldberg sucks, so you need to fucking beat this guy, so
Yeah.
and rebuild him as a babyface at this point. He's a heel right now, you know." And they beat him, at that what was it, Starcade, with Scott Hall basically electrocuting him with like a stun gun. So that's a stupid way to beat him,
That
but
was it was a stupid way to beat him, but I mean, I actually laughed when they went after him with the taser. I was like,
mhm.
"Pfft."
Scott Hall
um,
tasered him with that
right,
taser.
because I mean, this was like the waning moments of WCW, and I was more interested in the West Texas Rednecks and Kurt and doing all that, and then the West Texas Rednecks just disappeared because someone with blonde hair,
Hmm.
brother, said he couldn't follow that. Well, that's not Kurt's problem, asshole.
Yeah,
But anyway, I enjoyed the West Texas Rednecks, and that's what I was watching during that time.
I
And
like.
then Kurt kind of went to he was, Vince Russo's guy or puppet or something. I really didn't understand that either, especially because that's kind of disrespectful to Kurt. He's
Yeah,
a legend in the business, and you literally just made him your fucking lackey.
Yeah, I think at that point Kurt had checked out. I mean, at WCW, so it's like, oh, you want me to do that? The checks are coming in. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think
so
that was kind of like Kurt's like, all right, whatever.
yeah, he was checked out at that point. But getting back to Cena and Punk, I mean,
Right.
if CM Punk can't drag a good match out of Cena, nobody can in this run. I mean, it's gonna be, and I said from the beginning, it's gonna suck when Cena won this
Yeah.
belt. Like this run is gonna suck because they're
And I
gonna
would
put him.
have loved to have seen CM Punk take the belt away, and then all of a sudden, like during the match, like you could see, like they were getting rid of Braun Breaker, they were getting rid of Bronson Reed, excuse me, Bronson
Mhm.
Reed, not Braun Strowman.
Yeah,
Bronson Reed, one would take the other one out, and and then it's kind of like, oh, Cena saw the light. No, this was just like the Cody thing, and what I would have loved to have seen is CM Punk take the belt from Cena, and then Cena goes, "Oh shit, I totally made a mistake.
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, WWE. And apologize to the fans
They,
and stop doing these whiny ass promos. They are.
they-
It's like he's a whiny little ass bitch.
yeah, but he only has 15 dates left on this contract, so before he retires, so he's gonna drop the belt and flip back babyface before he goes. He's not gonna be a heel on his final appearance. I mean. So they're definitely going to flip him back. I mean, the fans want to cheer him anyway. So once he drops his belt, he's probably going to flip back babyface.
I mean, I
They,
really hope so.
yeah, and again, I knew Punk wouldn't win because they're setting up that Cody Cena match for SummerSlam, the rematch. So
I get that. I
yeah,
just would have loved to have seen that. But then, of course, I'm a big Braun Breaker fan.
yeah,
I mean, this guy, his father, I didn't really like his father. I hated his father. In fact, I hated Scott and Rick Steiner, his uncle and his father. But Braun, I see something in Braun I never saw in his father, which is talent, which is he knows the business. Like I said, I can't believe they talked him into this stuff to just be, uh, you know, Seth Rollins is lackey.
well,
It's kind of like the Kurt thing, with Russo. How did they talk them into this stuff? Because I see Braun going so far,
yeah,
so far up.
I did like it because it's like okay, he's rubbing elbows with a main event guy in Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, which is probably more important that he's
Mhm.
rubbing elbows with Paul Heyman because usually if you're managing Paul Heyman, you're seen as a main event guy. So eventually, not now, but within a year or so, Braun Breaker is definitely going to be on top of WWE, having matches with Cody and with whoever else is on top of this at that point because Roman Reigns is probably going to disappear by then, by another year or so. His contract's coming up anyway. So yeah, that's why I don't mind it, even though he's right now a lackey basically for Seth Rollins. So, but that's the reason why I like that. But the run-ins were getting first. Who ran in for it was Paul Heyman and his group running in. And no, it's a ref
Yeah,
bump. There was a ref bump. Sorry. Then that
yeah,
run-in started happening. And then eventually somehow Charles Robinson starts running down to the ring
yeah.
and then Cena just body checked him to the point where he's like dead, he flew like 3 or 4
Right,
feet.
right.
Which
And
for
you
a
were
guy
like, "Damn, at 60, he's
that the
still
man
taking."
that he's that age willing to take that bump, I mean that's that's fucking incredible of him. He don't have to take that bump. He said, I'm not taking that bump, but he took that bump in his 60s. Like look, I mean, good job in your dedication, Charles Robinson. I mean
I mean,
but
holy hell.
yeah, I mean, so eventually, there was so much, and then Penta came out. I think that might have been before that spot, but Penta came out, and Cena's getting his ass kicked by Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. He comes
Right.
out apparently to make the save on Cena. I don't know why he would do that, but he did his Pink Panther walk first. He had to do
Yeah,
that
I mean,
first.
what the
So
fuck?
he had
I
to.
mean, I
So
don't like Penta. I'm sorry. I tried to like Penta. Don't like Penta.
So I always compare that walk to the Pink Panther walk because it
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of didn't didn't
Doo-doo.
didn't
Doo-doo.
didn't
Doo-doo.
didn't
Doo-doo.
didn't
Doo-doo.
didn't.
Doo-doo.
That's what it reminds me of every time he does it. That's the Pink Panther walk. He had to do that first, get that in,
Mhm.
and he didn't really give a shit about Cena. Obviously, I don't know why. I guess he came out there more to fight Braun Breaker and Bronson
Yeah, it
Reed
was
because
more
they've been
about Braun
feuding.
Breaker
Yeah.
because they have been having a feud. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, at best, Penta is a middle card guy. Braun Breaker is he's main event. He is so main event material, and he's only 29. So
Yeah.
I mean, I get he has more time in him. I definitely, I mean, I see that. It's just, he's destined for greatness, and right now I feel like he's being held down, and I don't like that feeling. Not even for myself, and I know I'm being held down, but I mean, in my job. But I mean, what I would like to see is something strapped to him. Like a rocket strapped to his ass, and let's see where he goes from here.
Yeah, I think that Braun Breaker is definitely being groomed for that top spot because Cody is in his late 30s too. He's our age, so and he already
Actually
had
older
a
than us by
yeah,
a
he's a year
year.
older. Yeah, so he already got that role in a Naked Gun, and he has a major role in the new Street Fighter movie coming out. So
Oh, you are fucking kidding me! Like
yeah,
Roman Reigns?
yeah, he's in the same movie Roman Reigns is in. So they're
Oh
both.
my god!
So this is gonna film after SummerSlam.
Wow.
So they started filming. So yeah, so Cody's halfway out too. Honestly, he has one foot out the door already himself. So
Yeah. So I mean, why make Cody the champion? Why not make some of these other ones like Karrion Cross? Strap a rocket to him and push him the rest of the way.
Cody's gonna
Gunther is okay, but I would not Seth Rollins. I don't want to see Seth Rollins as champ, but Cena's going to leave too. So
yeah.
they have to. If it's not Cody,
They
then
got
it's got to be somebody else.
so Cena's gone. Roman is gonna leave after his deal is up. He's already said that. And Cody might have one foot out the door already. Seems like because he's
Right.
got a major role now in that Street Fighter film. So yeah, so he might have one foot out the door already anyway. So and he's like late 30s. So if he gets a foothold in Hollywood, he might be out the door sooner than people
And
expect.
he's got that baby face.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he's, he is a face, but I mean he's got that baby face, like his
Yeah,
dad. He's
everybody.
very charismatic. He has a lot of
Yeah.
charisma, he has a lot of energy, and I can just see Cody as like the next. I mean, Austin did very well, The Rock did very well in Hollywood. I mean, let's face facts. I don't like The Rock, but I mean, he did very well in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hogan, I don't like Hogan, but he did very well in Hollywood. I can see Cody Rhodes doing that because
Yeah.
he has that charisma. He has that, everyone likes him, and for good reason.
Yeah.
Maybe Randy Orton, though I doubt it, because I mean, I would
doubt
like
it.
to see him break that streak.
Yeah, I doubt it because Randy did some movies, but I think he's rider. He's like that. He's wrestling. I don't really see him breaking into Hollywood like that. He did a movie or two, but it's
No, I mean for like champion. Though I don't
right.
foresee that happening.
Mm.
But I mean, because you never know. He could break that streak when Cody goes off to, Hollywood. It could be Randy Orton. LA Knight could fit that spot. Maybe that's what they're getting ready for.
Yeah, they're gonna because they already know that Cody probably has one foot out the door. Cena's gone, Roman's gone. So they're gonna have to start elevating guys into the main event scene that not been there before, like a Bronson Reed, or maybe even Braun Breaker or LA Knight, or guys that are going to be around, for the next 5
Please
years.
not Seth Rollins. Please not Seth Rollins.
He's
I
probably
don't like Seth Rollins.
He's trying to get the belt.
Drew
in order
McIntyre. He was on SmackDown with
McIntyre's still around. Yeah.
Yes, with Randy Orton and Cody, of course. He was, he got RKO'd, but
Yeah,
I mean, he was
stuck with
talking
RKO,
truth about, you guys, why don't you just, go hug and kiss somewhere else? It kind of was like that, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. He was just showing mutual respect to Cody,
So the finish was Seth Rollins beating up CM Punk, hit his finish on him, and eventually Cena just beat him 1, 2, 3 and slid it out of the ring with his belt while
there's
before
another
Seth
one,
can,
CM Punk. I could
before
see
Seth
CM
Rollins,
Punk being champ.
Yeah, because CM Punk is not really an actor; he's just a wrestler. So he'd probably be around a lot longer than Cody would be, even though he's nearly 50 at this point. So, but he's gonna be
He's
around.
still young yet.
Yeah, he's gonna be around a lot longer than Cody. That's my prediction at this point because it seems like Cody already has one foot out the door. And so yeah, that was Night of Champions. It was a solid show. I ignored the women's matches because it seemed like they were there. And Karrion Cross.
I think you said that you almost fell asleep during the one.
Yeah, the Rhea Ripley match, because I just
Yeah.
Raquel's just there, She has no charisma. She's just big, She's Rhea Ripley's size, yes, but maybe a little bigger, but she has no personality, no charisma. She's just there like a body, She's like a
Yeah.
bodyguard basically. And they give her the tag team belts occasionally, that's fine. That's a good role for her, but to try to elevate her towards the women's world title, I don't think that's going to work because she's just there. She's just a body. So, and
Right.
Rhea had to basically work with a I don't know how to describe Raquel, a body, I guess, a big body,
I
and
mean,
put her
she's a
over.
big Amazon woman, so
Yeah,
I mean, you could take that into account.
that's why she's on the cards or she's on Judgment Day, but that's pretty much just he's just there. So that was Night of Champions. Let's get into Saturday night's main event because that's next Saturday at 8 o'clock Eastern on NBC and Peacock. So you guys want to check it out? Those are how you're gonna check it out. So only 3 matches listed here. Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre was just announced, I
Oh,
guess, on
get out!
SmackDown.
Just because he RKO'd him.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they stuck it on. They just booked the match based on that one RKO, I guess. So, and Randy's gonna win that match. I don't see Randy dropping a match to Drew McIntyre unless there's like interference or some kind of run-in, but to
Right.
protect Randy. But right now, Randy's winning that match. I don't see anyone, beating him at this point, especially if Cody wins the title at SummerSlam. I'm guessing Randy Orton's going to be his first feud because they already kind of teased that on SmackDown. So,
Right.
with Randy saying, "Whatever you do, you need to win this belt. Do not waste, do not waste what we did at, Saudi Arabia or whatever." So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think Randy's gonna win this match.
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you agree or you?
Yeah. I just don't. I mean, I hate to say that because I like Drew McIntyre. He kind of grew on me too, even though I think he trances around and goes between a heel and a baby face. I don't think they know what Drew is at this point because he's telling the truth. And I love how it came out on SmackDown with bored at work.
Mhm.
I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, I just don't see, I guess, what they're going for, but I would like to see him elevated.
Mhm.
If he doesn't go after Gunther, since Cody sort of, is Hollywood bound, maybe they could, get him to get after John Cena, turn him babyface. Because again, right now, it's like no one knows his identity right now. He doesn't even know what he is. He's a
Nah,
heel. He's a
it's just
babyface. What
there.
is he?
It seems like he just came back. They want to get him on the card, so they just throw him in Randy Orton. That's all.
Right.
That's what it seems like. All right, so the only 2 other matches left. LA Knight versus Seth Rollins, in the singles match. So
Oh, LA Knight and Seth Rollins.
yeah,
And
they
this is
booked that.
probably the payback for the fact that they screwed each other out
Yeah.
of, the King of the Ring and stuff, or
Uh
screwed
huh.
his guys. I don't know. Seth Rollins didn't really go for
No, he
the
wasn't
King of the
in the
Ring
King of the
because
Ring. He's Money in
he
the
was the
Bank.
Money in
So
the Bank,
yeah,
right? And I
Braun
didn't
Breaker
see.
and
Well, I
Bronson
mean,
were in
he
the King of
did.
the Ring.
Seth Rollins did screw him out.
Yeah.
Excuse me, of Money in the Bank because he had Bronson Reed come out and like
Uh huh.
pulverize him. But yeah, I just don't see, unless they're going to elevate LA Knight, I just don't see them beating Seth Rollins at this
They're
point.
not gonna beat Seth Rollins right now because he's Money in the Bank. He's probably gonna be champion again. They're not. They're not really gonna beat him right now.
Yeah, they're getting
So
ready for that.
yeah, so LA Knight's probably going to take the eat the pin here, but they'll protect him by having Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker interfere,
Right.
and so it's not like he's going to get beat clean. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
be surprised they beat him clean. I don't think they will. So, all right, so the last match listed here is the main event, which is Bill Goldberg's retirement match. Gunther, the champion, versus Goldberg.
I don't like Goldberg.
I don't either,
Like
but
I said,
he.
they're almost teasing Goldberg being champion again. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this match. I really don't. I guess that Gunther is gonna win. I mean,
Yeah,
I hope he survives longer than fucking anybody else did because I mean Goldberg was the shits. I mean, he really was the
yeah,
shits.
they're going to they beat Jey Uso the last pay-per-view in order to set up this match, and then they're gonna beat
Right.
Gunther and switch it to Goldberg, and then what? He's gonna retire, and they're gonna have some sort of tournament for the world title. I mean, that just buries that belt because
Yeah.
if Goldberg doesn't care enough to stick around to defend that belt, which he isn't, then it just drops it. Oh yeah, I mean here I'm gonna give it up, and what? There's gonna be a tournament where Triple H gets to book all these fatal 4-ways because he loves these multi-man matches, and that'll be the tournament. And then they'll do a fatal 4-way at the next pay-per-view to decide the world champion, unless Seth Rollins cashes in on Goldberg and then becomes champion. So that avoids that whole mess. Which if they're gonna put the belt on Goldberg, I hope that happens because or else we're gonna get that tournament Triple H loves to book with the fatal 4-ways. So
Well, that and the fact that I mean they're teasing it, but yet I mean it's his retirement match. He's not going to lose it, but becoming champion and then retiring,
it just buries the belt.
I don't want to see that happen. What I want to see happen is if Gunther does lose to Goldberg, I just don't see that happening. Like maybe Seth Rollins comes out and because Seth Rollins is a heel and Gunther's a heel too, he may just make it a triple threat match, and then then there's
that would be
so you can't get counted out or you can't get disqualification or anything. But
the only way that
still
the only way that would work if the match goes longer than 5 minutes, which is not.
Yeah.
I mean, Goldberg can't go. I'd be surprised he can go 2 minutes at this point. I mean, he could barely move, when he came to the ring. He did his entrance spot where he threw the punches and kicks, and he barely could even move then. So this is not going to be good. I mean, the only way this would work if it's you can make it to a triple threat and Rollins pins Goldberg or something, because Goldberg should go out on his back and put somebody over. I know he's a mark for himself, and putting guys over is not something that he's interested in. But
right, I don't know. Goldberg has to win because it is his retirement match, but he can't win that belt. He cannot win that belt. So I don't know if maybe Seth Rollins comes out and pretends like he's going to give the Money in the Bank, but he's more just a distraction, and
it could be
Gunther somehow gets a disqualification or something, or not Gunther, but Goldberg gets some kind of disqualification. Yeah, he wins the retirement match, but he doesn't win the title. That would be the best scenario ever.
They shouldn't put the belt on Gunther. I mean, this should be a straight up one-on-one match because Goldberg thought, because Goldberg's last appearance before that was when Gunther kind of embarrassed him in front of his wife and kids. So
right.
That's personal. That could have been the match right there. Did he really need the belt? I don't think he needed the belt.
No, I mean, because again, he's going to retire, right? So after this, he's done. He's not going to do any more matches. Yeah. And again, Goldberg is not in the greatest position to be the champ or say, I should be champ. No, this is your last match. There's no other matches after this. So if you're going to retire the right way, then there's some kind of disqualification that has to happen. And Gunther has the belt, retains the belt, but
here's
you
the thing
win the match.
Goldberg hasn't bothered to show up to the arena and do promos once. He did the first week after they set up the match. He did the interview with Michael Cole, which was pre-recorded, I think, at his gym or something. Like he was at a gym. And then
I didn't watch it because I was just like, I don't give a fuck about Goldberg.
We haven't seen or heard from Goldberg since. It's been Gunther basically building up this match by himself. Goldberg hasn't bothered showing up to the buildings leading up to this match. So,
and I get that, but I just don't see him getting the belt. There has to be some kind of where, like I said, Seth Rollins interferes. He pretends he's going to give the Money in the Bank in, but he doesn't. Maybe Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed come out and attack Goldberg in front of his family, and that gets the disqualification. I can see that. But I just don't foresee Goldberg getting this belt because he is not going to be champion. Him being champion would be the worst thing WWE could do.
Yeah, it buries the belt because Goldberg is not going to stick around to defend it, obviously. So it's like,
right.
Yeah, I won this belt here, handed back to Adam Pearce, I guess, and then they do some sort of tournament to decide the next champion at that next pay-per-view, whenever that is. Or no, it's SummerSlam.
Which is just dumb.
Yeah, it'd be SummerSlam. Yes, right after that, 2 weeks after that, SummerSlam. So But it's done. I would
Yeah.
hate that too, though. I mean, I would have plenty to say on Sunday. So that's Saturday night's main event. WWE is also having an Evolution show, an all women's card next Sunday on Peacock, and
Is it
well,
free
it's
or
on
do you have to
Peacock,
pay
so
for it?
you just can watch it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
like what other pay
okay,
per
you can
views.
watch. I guess we
Yeah,
can
but
watch it.
it's on a Sunday, right when we're supposed to go on the air, and I'm like, am I really gonna take 3 hours out of my time to watch that? I mean, the card doesn't look.
Yeah.
Looks. Oops.
I think the only one I would watch is probably Rhea Ripley, but who is she
Io
against? I
Sky
forgot
for the
now.
women's title.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Io Sky. And if she gets the belt back, that is what she
Yeah, she
deserves.
should have been the champion.
They had her in these
Mm.
dumb matches, they had her, against Io Sky, and she was winning, and then she would screw up somehow, and Io Sky would get the belt back. Come on, no one believes
So it looks like
give her the belt.
Yeah, there's 6 matches on this card. It's an NXT women's title match between JC Jane and Jordan Grace, blah, blah, blah. Io Sky and Rhea
Whoever they
Ripley
are.
for women's title. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. And 2 other teams for the women's tag title.
Yeah, see, here's the fatal 4-way. And didn't I tell you that, it's a fatal 4-way and it's a tag team match. And of course, it's women.
Loves to book these multi-man and multi-women matches. Maybe get everybody in the card, I guess, but you don't really need that. So there's also going to be a battle royal for women's world title match at Clash in Paris. I think that's safe for you on my birthday. I think participants hasn't been announced yet. Tiffany Stratton, the champion, versus Trish Stratus in women's title match.
That was made last night on SmackDown.
Yeah. And then you had Jade Cargill versus Naomi in a no holds barred match. So those are matches that have been listed so far for Evolution.
Well, and here's what's going to happen. Naomi is going to lose because this is the Jane Cargill getting back at Naomi.
Yeah.
She could win, though I don't see that for happening. Because again, this needs to end, and it needs to end with Jade winning. Now Naomi is the Money in the Bank, so there could be some fuckery going on with the Trish Stratus and Tiffy. She could cash in on Tiffy and make it a 3-way and then fight Jane Cargill, and that's when she loses because I was already the champion. Or they could make Jane Cargill the champion. I'm not really sure.
They dusted off Trish Stratus to get beat by Tiffany Stratton. They're really and this on Battle Royal. I'm sure they're going to bring back a lot of female legends. Like Lita's going to be in this, and who else? I mean, I can't even think of any girls.
Stephanie
right
Valkyrie is somewhere.
Oh yeah, she'll probably be in there. Stephanie and Julia and a lot of these other girls they brought up will probably be in there. Legends. I'm not sure it'd be a Royal Rumble type thing.
I mean,
Stephanie
30 is
girls.
over. I mean, more than over. And she can do the shit. She can do the moves, and it looks real. It looks presentable.
Yeah,
though when she takes her legs and pushes into the head, I really don't like that. But she is a great wrestler, and I can see her going far. It's just like it's kind of like Karrion Kross. They're not ready to pull the trigger on that and strap a rocket to her. They put her in some female. Oh, she was in the Money in the Bank, female Money in the Bank. She was in the Queen of the Ring qualifications, but she didn't make it. So what I'm seeing is probably, if anything, Naomi cashes out on Tiffy Stratton and makes it a 3-way, and so no disqualification, anything goes. Unless Jade Cargill comes out and screws Naomi out of the belt and Tiffy retains, because then it would be Jane Cargill and Tiffy at SummerSlam. Or it could be that Naomi wins. She puts in the Money in the Bank. She wins. She becomes a champion. She faces Jade Cargill. She wins and beats Jane Cargill, but then at SummerSlam, she has to come back and beat her again.
Yeah. So it's Evolution. The only match I would want to see is Rhea Ripley match. Hopefully getting that belt back. But now,
or I would like to also see Stephanie Valkyrie and what she has to offer.
The issue with Stephanie winning that battle royal, that means if Rhea Ripley wins this belt, that means she's going to be first to face Rhea Ripley, and she's going to lose because Rhea's not going to drop the belt in her first title match. So, as long as she looks good, it'll be fine. But It's like when Bret Hart in 91, when Kurt was Intercontinental Champion, he just won the belt and they wanted Bret to feud with him, and Bret's like,
Right.
well, no, I
right.
mean,
Brett
Kurt,
talked about that.
yeah, Kurt's gonna win that feud, right? I'm not gonna be Intercontinental Champion. It's like, oh no. Pat was like, no, of course not. Then it's like, I'm not gonna feud with him. And
Right.
then
They got
Pat,
the British Bulldog to do
yeah,
that
and
because Kurt,
Pat's like,
Kurt had
Pat
just
was
won the
like,
belt
yeah,
and they didn't want, well, he had just gotten the belt back from the Texas Tornado.
yeah. And
In
Pat was like,
fact,
oh,
it
you're gonna
was,
have great matches with him, Brett. Is like, no, but it's not
yeah,
about
they did
that.
have great matches in '89
Yeah, it's
when
not
they faced
about
each
that.
other,
Yeah, it's
but then
about,
Kurt wasn't the Intercontinental Champion
Yeah.
yet. He would get that belt the first time and lose it to Kerry at SummerSlam. That's where I would come in, and that's when I saw Kurt for the first time and just became a Mr. Perfect fan. And he became like my hero. I wanted to wrestle. I wanted to be like Kurt Hennig. Okay. I wanted to wrestle like him. But then, he would lose it to Kerry. He would get it back. And then, that's when they're like, hey, you
Hey,
and
Brett.
Kurt had really good matches in '89. Would you like to do this? And he's like, no, because Kurt's going to keep the belt. Why would I
I'm
do
gonna
that?
lose
But
the
then
feud.
Kurt got, he hurt his back. And then, unfortunately, for Kurt, he had to give up that belt at SummerSlam. So
Yeah, to Brett, but yeah, his run didn't last as long as probably should have. But
it
yeah,
should have lasted longer, and he should have been propelled with a rocket towards Hogan. Even though he was going after Hogan in '89, and Hogan axed the push because Hogan's an asshole. But
yeah, what I was thinking about doing is doing like a show where we book Kurt Hennig in '89 winning the belt and kind of fantasy book what would happen and how it would happen. Do an episode on that at some point.
we can do that. I so want to do that because that would make you. And I'm not going to use AI. I can just use what I know of Kurt.
Yeah, I mean,
if
you don't
Kurt
have to
Hennig if Mr. Perfect had won the heavyweight championship belt instead of it being Hogan and Warrior at WrestleMania 6, what would have happened you don't even have to go that far. Let's say Kurt gets the belt in '89. Like he got that push. He was supposed to have that push, right?
Yeah.
But we build it up to WrestleMania 6. So it's Mr. Perfect versus Hulk Hogan. And Perfect gets the belt. Right off the bat, right there. I mean, you're talking, there could be great matches again with Bret Hart. If Bret had been rocketed up farther or faster instead of being in tag team with Jim, not that they weren't great as a tag team. Oh my God. Like there would be so many great matches. And again, they could take turns and give the belts back and forth to each other. Kurt, at WrestleMania 6, he gets the belt. So at SummerSlam, he faces Bret and loses it, but then gets it back at Survivor Series. I don't know. Or you could even wait till the Royal Rumble and he gets it right back because he wins the Royal Rumble and you save it for WrestleMania 7 or something like that. Because it could be Canada versus the United States. And maybe you turn Kurt face and make Bret the heel because, Canada sucks, blah, blah, blah. Canada versus the United States, who's going to win? Because Kurt was from Minnesota. So, so many ideas I have for that.
Yeah, something like that, because that'd probably happen after SummerSlam because we'll be busy covering SummerSlam. But yeah, I mean, that's what I've been thinking about doing an episode like that. If Kurt win the belts in '89 from Hulk, what would happen? And whether Hogan Warrior still happens in 1990 or not at SummerSlam at WrestleMania.
It wouldn't have been as big. Yeah, it wouldn't have been as big, but I could see.
Yeah.
Eventually they turn Bret heel and make Kurt babyface like they did Bret was face in '93 and so was Kurt. But I mean, they had that King of the Ring match where Kurt put him over at King of the Ring 1993 and Bret became the first King of the Ring. Yeah. So if it wasn't for Kurt, Bret wouldn't have gotten there.
Yeah. So also next Saturday is AEW All In Texas. So there's a lot of wrestling.
This real fast.
Yeah, I mean,
real fast.
Yeah, it's not. So there's 8
Nothing
matches.
We want to see here.
There's 8 matches listed, and I'm sure Tony's gonna be booking a lot more. So this is the 8 that are listed for now. Right. Tony Storm versus Mercedes for the women's belt. Mercedes getting this belt. I mean, she's not putting over anybody.
She hasn't really. Has she lost a match yet?
Not in AEW. She hasn't lost a single match.
She's become like the Hulk Hogan of AEW.
In fact, people have been calling her that, and she went on Twitter is like, don't compare me to Hulk. Like, well, you haven't lost a match yet.
Yeah, and you won't
Darling.
do a job for anyone. It's not like you actually would lose. Hey,
Yeah.
CBC.
Hey, CBC. So the next match is the world title match, but they added a stipulation, of course, because it's Moxley. Moxley the champion versus Hangman Adam Page in a Texas death match.
Okay.
So that tells me that Moxley's retaining probably.
Yeah, I was gonna
because,
say I don't see Moxley
uh,
losing this belt. I mean, I don't know what Tony Khan sees in Moxley. To be honest, I don't see anything in Moxley. He's literally what did they call him on Jim Cornette?
Dick the
the
Boozer.
Boozer and the Boar Horseman. I just don't see him losing this belt. But I mean, I don't like John Moxley. I hate that man with a passion.
Yeah,
He doesn't do anything for me. I don't get excited about hearing about John Moxley. In fact, I saw a match between Joe Hennig, who is Kurt's son, and John Moxley when he was Dean Ambrose, and I was going like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Joe. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you had to face that asshole because he is an asshole.
He was good. He was better in WWE. Still not. I'm not saying he's a great in WWE. He's better. I mean, because Vince kind of held him in check and didn't let him do all the shit he wanted to do. So
yeah.
So he was better in WWE, but he wasn't impressive even then. So all right. So the next match is Kaguya Okada versus Kenny Omega for both the Continental Championships and the International Championships. So it's going to end up unifying to the AEW Unified Championship.
Ugh.
What a mess.
I hate Kenny Omega. No offense, but, and I was saying this last night to my man, I don't know of any wrestlers of our time. I'm talking Kurt, Brett, I'm talking Hogan even, Warrior even. I don't know any of these guys who would go over to Japan and wrestle 8-year-old girls. Okay, I'm sorry, but he's just a pedophile. All right.
Yeah, he wouldn't have worked work with a fucking kid, and he also wasn't. I think it was Omega that worked with a mannequin. He did a match with a mannequin in Japan, and that was filmed. So, all right. So let me get through this real quick. I think Okada gets that belt because he's the heel, and he's gonna put him over. That's my guess. So then we're gonna have a men's casino gauntlet match for a future AEW World Title match. So that no participants been announced in that yet. That's kind of like a Money in the Bank. Is their version of Money in the Bank? And then we have a women's casino gauntlet match for a future AEW Women's World Title match, which is the same thing. Then we have a tag team match, Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Young Bucks. If Ospreay and Strickland lose, they cannot challenge for the AEW World Title for 1 year. If the Young Bucks lose, they'll be stripped of their EVP titles. what stipulations for that match?
What? Yeah. I mean, I really don't. I don't think the Young Bucks are gonna. I don't think they're gonna lose their EVP status.
Yeah,
but what a fucking dumb. I mean, you can't even call them the Young Bucks anymore because they're not really that young, aren't they? In their 40s?
Yeah, I think they're almost 40. I think
almost 40, kind of like us.
Yeah. So the next match listed here is Adam Cole defending his TNT title against Kyle Fletcher. I don't. And Adam Cole's getting smaller every time I see him, so I don't know. I mean, who takes him seriously as a wrestler at this point? And again, I think Vince was right about Adam Cole because he wanted to make Adam Cole a manager. I think he might have been. He had the right call for Adam Cole. So,
well, then do that. I mean, there's no point in.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex. There's no point in not keeping this guy a manager when he should be. He's not a wrestler.
Again, Vince usually he may be senile at this point, but he knows how to use talent and where to put him on the card. So it's for the most part. So he still knew how to do that. All right. So the last match listed here is a 3-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team title. We have the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin versus Jet Speed, Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey versus the Hatriarchy, Christian and Nick Wayne rather, excuse me. So that's the 8 matches on that.
Champions right now.
Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin.
I say they retain. I don't
see them losing this belt. They have to retain that.
They would be. Tony Khan would be a complete moron to literally have Shelton and Bobby Lashley lose these belts.
again, like I said this a few times. I as soon as I got Bobby Lashley in the roster, I'm making him the champion. He's gonna
Yeah.
destroy the Boar Horsemen by himself, no problem. Just destroy them all and put the belts on him. But of course,
Right.
Moxley probably would have throw a bitch fit if Tony would have booked that. So it's like that's why he never even sniffed the world title picture since debuting. But I would tell Moxley, you have a problem with it, quit. Go back to WWE. I'm sure they'll love to have you. You know, you don't have to stay here. I'll let you out of your contract right now. I don't want you
Right.
anyway. So you have a problem with it, you can go. Bobby's gonna be the champion. He's gonna go into All In as my champion versus either Powerhouse Hobbs or the other one, Wardlow. That's my main event. But I don't know why Wardlow's doing that American Gladiators remake on Amazon. That's what he's
Oh
doing right
God.
now. I'm like, really, Tony? He's healthy. He can do fucking American Gladiators, but you're not gonna make him come back and wrestle. Like,
Yeah, just let him be the American Gladiators, okay? Because that's all he can do because he can't wrestle.
but Wardlow has that look. It's like you wanna promote that. He's kind of like Goldberg in that sense. You want to promote that look, and as long as he's somewhat competent and not killing guys in the ring, it's fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be a great wrestler, especially if you're trying to promote AEW as or make it more mainstream, which they're not mainstream. I don't care what they say, is like they're not mainstream. Nobody knows who the hell most of these guys are.
Right. Because,
It's like
nobody watches, AEW
it's
or
like
at
the
least calls it
story.
wrestling.
Yeah, it's like the story Kurt Angle told when he was in TNA. He went to an airport and fans recognized, oh, hey, when you coming back to wrestling? And he was like, "Well, I am in wrestling. I'm in TNA." They didn't even hear them what the hell that even was.
Right.
It's like 25 years ago. So, or no, 20 years ago, let's say. Yeah. So, again, the same thing with AEW. I'm sure Bobby runs into fans like, "Oh, when you come back to WWE, that's what they're going to be
Mm-hmm.
asking him." So,
Yeah, because like I said, again, the numbers don't lie. The numbers were up a little bit from the last time I heard, but I
I
mean,
mean,
don't expect that to be a lasting thing.
yeah. So that's that. We'll come back next. I'm not sure when because I'm not sure if you're planning on watching Evolution.
Sunday.
But yeah, on Sunday, you're planning on watching Evolution or not? Because I'm not.
No.
But yeah.
No.
So we'll come back on Sunday, most likely at 7
7.
next Sunday because we got to watch Saturday's main event. And NXT is having their pay per view in the afternoon. So there's a lot of wrestling going on next Saturday. And All In's next Saturday. I mean, if I wanted to, I could probably look up a stream, but I have no interest in sitting through. All right, so there's 2 hours of NXT, 2 hours of Saturday night's main event, and what 5 hours of AEW. It's like over 10 hours of wrestling. I love wrestling, but not that much.
Yeah, I don't. I
And
wouldn't watch. Well, I'm not gonna watch NXT. No offense, but
I'm
I
not.
will
Yeah,
be watching the Saturday Night's main event. Not watching Evolution, but I'm definitely not watching All In because again, I don't even call AEW wrestling. I just call it the Circus Olay
it's not wrestling.
performers. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some good wrestlers on the card. I mean, from WWE, like Bobby Lashley, I think is fantastic. I would put the belt on him as soon as I got him if I'm booking AEW. But that's just me, and I don't care. I know some in the internet would say, "Oh, WWE guy won the belt," but he's the biggest star instantly. As soon as he debuted, he's like my biggest star. So,
Yeah.
and I got to put the belt on him, and then build up guys like Wardlow or Powerhouse Hobbs or whoever young guy, bring him up. Will Ospreay, even though he
Yeah.
sucks, but the fans like him. So yeah, man, I would use Ospreay, even though I hate the wrestling personally. But yeah, I'm rambling. So yeah, we're gonna end here. Go to the other platforms. Hang out with us while we watch some wrestling clips. So I hope everybody has a nice weekend, nice week. We'll be back on Friday for Angel in the afternoon at 7 o'clock Eastern. We're back on Friday. I know we were on Thursday this week because of the all the fireworks that are going on here. Like I felt like the fireworks were right in my ear. That's how loud they were.
For
So,
whatever, I didn't hear fireworks in my area last night.
oh
Oh, I
wow,
did.
yeah, I
Boy,
did
and
for
they did it
sure.
right next to my house too. And I was like, "No, guys, you can't do this, or our house is gonna burn down."
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that
we don't
was
like that. We don't want that to happen.
yeah. they popped off fireworks all over the complex. I mean, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew I couldn't
Didn't
do a
happen in
show on
my
Friday.
area last night for whatever reason. That was weird because it usually
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, so I knew that's why I knew that I couldn't do a show on Friday. So I was like, okay, can anybody do a show Thursday? So I got David and Alex. I didn't think you would come on, Steph, but you did, for last hour. So it's like, okay, so I had a big panel. I was like, oh, thank God, because there's no way I could do a show on Friday. So yeah, we'll be back on Friday, next Friday. I'm sure, there'll be a lot to discuss then. We'll be back with Pro Wrestling Talk on Sundays. We talked about, we review Saturday night's main event and discuss AEW All In. And they're not going to watch it, so I'll give you my thoughts on that and our thoughts on that. And that's pretty much it. So I hope everybody has a great week. If you're going to continue celebrating 4th of July, make sure you do it safely. Don't drink and
Please
drive.
don't burn other people's houses down.
Yeah, don't do that too. That's not good. And
By the way, Yemen's attacking Israel right now.
what?
Oh, bam!
Oh wow, that's something that's breaking right now.
How do you like that, Israel?
I didn't
How do
even
you
catch
like
that.
In the groups, you didn't see it.
No, I haven't really been much in the groups. I usually don't on the weekends, but I didn't catch that. I mean, oh wow.
How do you like me now?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see it now, but yeah, I mean, I didn't catch that before. So yeah, that's definitely something to discuss on Fridays, Angel in the afternoon. So stay tuned for that, and we'll get I'm gonna have to look. We have to look into it, and read articles, and I'll give my thoughts on
And
it.
meanwhile, the Yankees have really hit rock bottom.
Oh yeah,
no, they lost.
They lost again. What are they? I saw the standings. They're in 3rd place right now. They went from.
I think so. Either they're still in 2nd or 3rd. I don't know which. But.
Yeah, I think I saw. Hold on. Let me just look that.
And by the way, Aaron Judge gave another stupid answer, saying, "Oh, it's a slightly bump. We'll get out of it." Like, shut up.
He gave the Aaron Judge answer. I mean, I'm not surprised he gave that answer.
I love Aaron Judge as a player, but as a captain, he's awful. He's awful as a captain.
Yeah, he's not. He's not that vocal leader.
Derek Jeter should help him on being a captain.
Yeah, Derek Jeter probably was a much better at it, but yeah, right now they're 48 and 41, which ties them for 2nd place with the Rays. They have the exact same record. So yeah, they were in 3rd place yesterday. I think I saw that, and then now the Rays must have lost. Yeah, the Rays lost today. That's why.
Clark Smith is likely going to need Tommy John surgery.
Yeah, he needs Tommy John surgery. I knew when I saw the forearm injury, that forearm tightness, like he needs Tommy John, because that injury is usually a sign of needing Tommy John. But oh yeah, this season is falling apart quickly, and if they don't recover the next 2 weeks, I could see them selling at the deadline. And if they do, then the season's over.
Like the 2nd best AL record not too long ago, and now
like in beginning of June, they're up 7.5 games in the division, and they've completely fallen apart. So yeah, so that'll do it for this episode, Angel in the Afternoon. Pro Wrestling Talk, whatever. Yeah, but
what?
real quick, we're probably gonna do our baseball show finally on July 20th because I needed this Sunday open for Pro Wrestling Talk next Sunday.
That's my mom's birthday on that day.
Oh, happy birthday, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay, are you able to do it on the 20th?
I should. I mean, she and I will probably be going out, but we could do it like the day after or something like that. So it's not a
okay. Well, we'll figure it out later because we do have to get the clips, and I got to wrap up before 10. So, all right. So I see you guys next week for Pro Wrestling Talk and Angel in the Afternoon. Peace. All right, let me get out on the other YouTube channel, and then we can get to some clips. So yeah, the Yankees they're completely falling apart. How can it get any worse? I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Well, I mean, Anthony Volpe threw the ball at Aaron Judge's head after.
It's like they're cursed. Because I saw that clip. He threw for some reason. Anthony Volpe threw a ball and it hit Judge right in.
After inning, they always throw the ball away. After each inning.
Yeah, but somehow ended up hitting